Greetings, the Astro 30 here, yet again with a nice exciting video for you today. Today we're going to look at well, it is obsolete, but you can still buy them from China. The TDA2822M, which is a dual class B power amplifier IC, which is capable of 1 watt into 8 ohms at a supply voltage of around 9 volt. So we're going to take a quick look at the data sheet, and I'm also going to discuss the equivalent that you can use in its place, which is a pin for pin match. And then I'm going to build the circuit up on some breadboard and test it. Now, this original IC comes out of someone else's project that doesn't work properly anymore. He said that, well, one of the channels was distorted and the other one still worked fine. But that could be due to the wiring, because yeah, it is pretty bad, and the board it came off of is starting to oxidize. So this is an old Dick Smith. I think it's a Dick Smith. No, it might be actually J-Card, considering what the catalog number was. HP9550. So yeah, this is pretty old, and that could be the source of the problem. Plus the soldering is terrible. Alright, let's have a look at that data sheet. Okay, so here's the data sheet for the TDA2822M. The supply voltage can go down to 1.8 volt. Low crossover distortion, low quiescent current. It can be used in bridge or stereo configuration. Now this part is obsolete now, but there's our pin outs there. Output is on pin 1 and pin 3. Supply voltage is on 2 and 4, so all the outputs and supplies on this side, and all the inputs are on that side. Makes it kind of easier to lay out. There's the equivalent schematic diagram, and if we look here, they are using resistive feedback here, and this negative pin connects to the end of this resistor, which this connects to a capacitor to ground. So this is actually our gain control network, if you want to call it that. Supply voltage maximum is 15 volt. Peak output current is apparently 1 amp. Quiescent current drain is a roughly 9 mA max. Output power of each channel at a VS of 9 volt into 32 ohm, or headphones 300 milliwatt into 8 at 9 volt, apparently 1000 milliwatts. We'll test that. And when you look at 4 ohm loads, yeah, it's getting a lot smaller. The closed loop voltage gain is maximum of 41 decibels. There's not much else to talk about. Here is the basic circuit. Now, they haven't shown an input capacitor here. I would strongly recommend using one, and probably a stopping resistor here on the other side so it's not picking up radio frequency. And that is the bridge configuration. You use one input, the other one is grounded, and the two outputs are tied together, but keep the impedance at 8 ohms or more. I don't think it would like running down at a 4 ohm load, which is 2 ohms per channel. I don't think it will like it. And this is the equivalent IC, which is pin for pin match. If you use the 8-pin dip, is the NJM2073D or the JRC2073D, and it's by the Japanese radio company. So supply voltage is 15 volt max. Output peak current is again 1 amp. So these are the output powers. It differs a little bit from the other data sheet because it doesn't show when you're running it, like, you know, 9 volt, 12 volt, whatever. 270 milliwatts into 8 ohms, etc. Total harmonic distortion is 1% at 1 kilohertz. So the circuit configuration is the same, except they use a slightly different value of resistor and capacitor here in the Zobel network. It's neither here nor there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to build the circuit up on some breadboard and see if it actually works. Alright, well I've got the thing built up on a piece of breadboard. Now the reason why this chip is on a piece of board and an IC socket is because I could not get the IC socket or the chip to stay in the pins that kept popping back out. So I just made up a quick piece of board here, cut the holes between the chip where they needed to be, and just soldered some, leads onto the other side of the board just so I can plug it into the breadboard, a bit like an Arduino module. Anyway, got all the equipment set up in the background, and I've got the power supply preset to 12 volts, so I'll turn the supply on. And yes, we indeed have an output. Currently we're getting, in times 1 mode, 0.94, almost a volt out. So I'll just wind up my amplitude until the thing clips. See how now it's got that nasty notch at the top there? It's most likely because the chip doesn't employ proper negative feedback, so I'll back that up to about there. That gives us, 7.6 volt peak to peak. Turn that down. So it's 7.6 volt roughly peak to peak. Divide that by 2 equals 3.8. Multiply that by 3.8 equals that divided by our load. Ooh, peak, that is 1.8 watts at 12 volts. So we take our 3.8 figure, multiply that by 0.707 to get the RMS, multiply that by itself, 866 equals that, divided by 8, 900 milliwatts, very close to a watt. So the data sheet is pretty close. The equivalent, as I was looking at the data sheet for that last night, actually can produce a little bit more power into 8 ohms. However, I've only built the one channel to test it because, well, I didn't have enough components to do the second one, plus it's awfully, messy and awkward. So all I need to do is move 4 components, or was it 3? No, 4 components around to the other pins to get the other side of the chip, and I'll test that channel out and then, well, probably put it into a speaker, I guess. Okay, circuit's reconfigured. This 1 watt 10 ohm resistor is overkill for the job. It's supposed to be 4 ohms 7, but yeah, it's just a Zobel network. I've reversed the capacitor and resistor connections around. It doesn't really make any difference. Okay, so I'll turn the power on. And we have an output. So I'll just crank the oscillator up and see if we get the same 7.6 volt out before clipping. There it goes to clip. Yeah, easily. So there's nothing wrong with that IC. So it must have been the wiring. There's a couple of things I want to know first before I put it into any speaker. I just want to know, at full power on one side anyway, what our current draw is. Well, I could have just looked at the power supply. It's apparently 20 mA, but I'll verify that. Well, according to my multimeter, it's 11 mA, but I'm not actually getting any output now. So I might switch to my 10 amp scale. It actually helps to plug your positive lead into the correct hole. According to this, it's 161.4.2 mA roughly. That is, wow, that is quite an excessive current draw. So I'll back off the oscillator, and when we're only producing just a little under a volt, it's still drawing like 21 mA, something like that, which means if both channels were driven, we're looking at what, 300 mA roughly. Okay, the data sheet doesn't actually state what the current draw is. It tells us what the quiescent current is, which is around about 7 mA. So if I was to disconnect the oscillator, it's only like about 4 mA. Alright. Got it hooked up to a crap speaker that I don't care about. Okay, well, it works. Okay, I got it hooked up to my headphones, which are 32 ohm impedance. Yeah, I reckon that would be alright, I guess. Jesus Christ. That's pretty loud. I'm going to assume that's before distortion. Well, running into headphones, yeah, we're looking closer to 100 MA for both channels, which is alright. I do plan to use this chip for a headphone amplifier, so there is a possibility for that. But I mean, it works, and it will drive 32 ohm impedance headphones just fine. Okay, I was picking up radio frequency and a nasty oscillation was going. So I've stuck this 560 ohm 1 watt resistor in series with the input as a stopper resistor. 470 would do. It's the closest thing I had to hand. Anyway, that nasty oscillation has gone. What I want to do now is I want to measure what the input sensitivity is going into 32 ohms, but I also need to figure out on the output where it's clipping into the headphones. So let me just reconfigure some things here. Alright, I'm currently getting 9.5 clean sound into the headphones. That is really annoying. And switching to the input, we're getting 50 millivolts. That's quite a considerable amount of gain. So I've turned it down so I'm not destroying the headphones, plus it's annoying. So we had what? 9.8, I'm going to say roughly. We divide that by what's going in, which is 0.05. That's a voltage gain of 196. Whew, okay. I'm going to repeat the same test on an 8 ohm load. Right, so we'll say 7.3 volt at the output. Now I'll just move the oscilloscope back to the input. And we can't see anything currently. About 90 millivolts going into it. Okay, so now 7.3 volt divided by 0.09. A gain of 81 roughly, so yeah, okay. The gain is pretty high. Okay, I got the speaker hooked up now. Play an audio track. Okay, that little circuit is working. It's a shame that the IC is, well, obsolete. As I say, you can actually still get them from China, but there is a drop-in replacement for that, which is still currently available. So I might end this video here. I've done all I can, I think. So I'm the Astro30. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to rate, comment and subscribe below, and you can always follow me on Facebook and become a Patreon member for as little as $1 a month. Anyway, this is the Astro30 saying see ya, have a great day.